Hi guys, welcome back to another P3D version 5 video. We are today flying the Mario Noriega Dassault Mercury, which is hosted by HJG, and we are currently at Toulouse, and we're gonna fly down to Barcelona, so a pretty short and sweet flight. Compared to my previous videos with the Mercury, there's been no further changes. Still have the PBR, but or actually there's been one. I found a new air file that's supposed to make it a little bit less twitchy, or let's say prone to weird turbulence behavior. So hopefully that should make the flight model a bit better. But that's about the only update I made. There were some other things included, but I couldn't get them working. They basically rendered the EPR values unrenderable, so I only incorporated the flight model, the air file. But yeah, we are here at Toulouse. I thought it would be a fun place to kind of start off at, because you have here in the background, you have all of the Airbus aircrafts, the A330s, the A350s being built, and the A320s, 21s. Or maybe not being built, but by being assembled, I guess, and painted. And we are today just gonna do this short hop down to Barcelona, mainly just to try out, I think, the flight model and check if there's any noticeable improvements. I don't think there's gonna be any turbulence though, so I'm not sure if this is the best flight to try it out, but should be a pretty good one. And yeah, as previously shown, it's a pretty good exterior model for being a freeware aircraft, and you also have a very nice kind of interior model. Not sure if we can open this one. Need to go and check that you open basically all the doors through the cockpit interface. But yeah, most things are looking good. If we're, so to speak, doing our walk around right now, it's nothing to see. There's of course no kind of walk around feature with this aircraft, and I don't think basically anyone apart from like A2A and the Wing 42 has that for their aircraft. But yeah, not much else to say. The plane is looking good, maybe a bit glossy, but that's the PBR effect. But apart from that, it's all looking good and ready to go. And we are using GSX, as you can see, not the best. I need to check if there's someone who has a better kind of AFCAD file where the placement of those vehicles are a bit more logical. But let's see. But okay, if we jump into the cockpit, yeah, here you can see, here's the door, how you control that. I think you have the luggage door there. Yeah, so it's possible to open that as well, which is nice to see. I think actually this is one of my favorite freeware aircrafts for P3D, because it's such a niche aircraft, so it's highly doubtful we'll ever see it created in any other sim, at least not to this level of simulation. You know, maybe someone will, but it's like an aircraft that was only built like in 12 different aircrafts that were built of this model, and it was only Air Inter that used it. And I think this is actually the original Air Inter livery from 1974. So it's not my favorite one, but I thought it would be appropriate to try it out, to get some differences from to my previous videos where I flew the later livery versions, the one from the 1980s and the 1990s. And I think they went out of service in 1995. So yeah, almost, well, not almost, exactly 30 years ago. And it was, of course, partly, or I mean, the success or failure of this aircraft was partly related to the fact that it was even kind of old school in a way when it was released with the old, what is it, like the JT8D engines. And apart from just being old, just having such a short range, which kind of doomed it from the get-go. But yeah, not much else to say. We're just flying VOR. Haven't tried incorporating any GPS or similar, but it should be possible to do, if I'm not mistaken. I think they might even have a button for external GPS. But yeah, now I can't remember where it's located, but there might be some potential to incorporate in that regard. Let's close that. Interesting though with the, is this failures? Or what's that? Yeah, fails. Okay. Very cool. But yeah, not much else to say. The only thing I would have liked to kind of upgrade with this one is so you can see the text a bit better. I did try some AI software, so it does, I think, look a bit better than the original version. But it's still, you know, you can see some of them. But let's say here, like, I don't know what that one says. Anti-eyes, that's a bleeds test, I'm gonna assume. But they're quite hard to read. So those would be some nice updates. Probably possible to do it, but I'm not too good at that. But yeah, let's move these ones back. How interesting. I moved the throttle and that moved the flaps. I need to have a look. I think I'm using my Honeycomb Bravo throttle too much. They're starting to die on me. Hopefully not for a long time though. Let's get the battery started as a first thing. That's usually how we would get everything going. So that's the batteries. Then we want the alternators 1 and 2 on. We have ground power on. Or no, we don't have it on. This is the ground power. So we're gonna put that on, but we have it connected through the aircraft's own system. I don't think there's anything visual though. Yeah, nothing visual on the outside, but yeah. At least it works, so that's the important part. In terms of the sceneries we're using today, it's the, I'm trying to think, is it 29 Palms, or I think I bought it from the Flight Beam Studio, the Toulouse scenery. And then I think it is the Sim Wings Barcelona. Yeah, it must be the Sim Wings one. I thought that one looked a bit better than the Latin VFR one. Both looked good, so I don't think you can go wrong. Let's do the emergency lights, no smoking as well. We can do the position light as well. Let's have a look. Yeah, seems to be working. And as a next step, we are gonna, okay, we don't have APU yet, which is fine. We'll do the boarding thingy. Let's see if I remember the KO codes, which I do. I know the altitude. It's not gonna be a long flight, but not super short either. We'll just do the old 737. We'll put in a low number so we don't have to wait too long for that. Do we have, I don't think we have Air Inter, but we can use Air France. I'm also going to use the Air France call sign. So Air France, there you go. Okay, good, sounds working. And in terms of the flight plan, let me see if I have a good, because I did a SimBrief plan, but I don't have the Mercury, so I used the 737-200. So some interesting parts is that we do have moderate icing warnings at around the altitude will be. I'll probably be descending from that, so that's good. We have CB warnings, also covering the Barcelona. So maybe we'll get some turbulence actually. It just looks good here in Toulouse. But yeah, not a long flight. This is actually the wrong. Let me see. I think this is the updated one. Because we don't have any. Yeah, we don't have any SID assigned, at least from the get-go. Let's see what we get. It doesn't seem like it's updated in any way in terms of the weather. Still some CB warnings. So that'll be interesting. Not that we don't have a working radar. Also, I guess one of the deficiencies with this fewer aircraft. But these are the main ones we are gonna keep track of in terms of checkpoints or VOR fixes. But that should be fine. What else? What else? What else? Yeah, not much else actually. GSX, we can start the boarding there as well. We'll do even a lower number of packs, maybe 20 or something. Let's see. Gonna jump to the outside view. Okay, we're getting the luggage handlers driving forward. Yeah, damn shame with the weird coloring on the GSX trucks. We don't need to board crew. It's a very nice airport, this one, the Toulouse one. I haven't actually flown between these two airports after I got them, or I did some flights around them, but I never really flew to them as I had anticipated when I got them. It's always a bit, how would you say, hit or miss with airports. Some of them are placed on at areas where you usually fly, and some are a bit further away, or basically not close to any of the more interesting ones, and then you don't usually fly them. And since I fly a lot of virtual airlines, some of these are just, you know, badly placed. Specifically, it's like, well, UK baseline's okay, you'll have some flights to them, but they're a bit too long sometimes for me to do on a regular basis. But yeah, for the virtual airlines that don't have more kind of local routes, it might be hard to find short ones. Okay, I think the boarding has started. I haven't gotten any kind of select the number of packs, but maybe that's fine. At least the luggage is starting to arrive. There's not that much air traffic here. We have some Belugas, A220, A319, Beechcraft, 737 MAX 8. But yeah, that's about it. It'll probably be more in Barcelona. The activity level is 25%. I don't want to raise it too much. Maybe we could do 30%. Let me see, I'm going to delete traffic and then I'm going to inject it again. The funny part is that basically removed more traffic than it provided. But okay. Yeah, not the best, but c'est la vie. Okay, jumping back in, we can check our altimeter settings. 1024. So we put that in. It has some funny sound effects, this aircraft. Yeah, I think they're all tied together, so that's good. In terms of ATC, we're gonna try to use it. So we have it here, and here you can also see how the flight is gonna go. So we're flying kind of around the Pyrenees mountains. And then coming down here into Barcelona. Now that's interesting. Why did it remove the one waypoint before Aztec? That should be PARA. Could be that PRA. Let's see if we can add that. Yeah, no clue. Actually, I'm gonna import the flight plan again. And what I think I'll do is I'll just skip adding anything further. Yeah, this looks better. Because, you know, if they change the approach or the runway we're landing on, I want them to not expect us to be here, but rather to be at PRA. So let's connect to the sim. I'm gonna press connect. And then we'll wait. We can do the fire tests. Is there no color with those? Maybe it's only sound. Interesting. Lamps test. Oh. Okay, 3 to right, 3 to left. Yeah, that makes sense. How do you get back the... Maybe it's a setting with the yoke. Yeah, you can do the stall warning test. But yeah, odd that there's probably like a click spot somewhere where you get the yoke back. Yeah, there we go. I just like to see it so I know when it's working or not. We can move away from the 80s because we know that, and we'll ask for the clearance. Air France 4003, ready to copy, IFR clearance. Okay. Okay, let's see. Air France 4003, ready to copy, IFR clearance. Okay, I'm filing it. No, what? It's... this is not going too well now. I do want to import procedures though. Yeah, okay, we're not being too successful. Now, I think I got it. Okay, let's see. We're filing. We are connected. Let's check. Air France 4003, ready to copy, IFR clearance. And we can actually move that down. Okay, they want us to fly a departure, which could be fine. Let's see, PPG. So which ones do the PPG one adds? I think it adds Morrill and Galdo. Is Galdo in any way a... let me have a look. The thing is that it might be fine to fly it if we have any sort of... waypoint that we can use. Can we get normal waypoints? I can show VR. Let me see, so before PPG... Galdo is here. So add Galdo, and the next one is Likaf. And that's before Moril. And Moril is there. We can add Moril to the way to the flight plan. It should be somewhere here. Could be that I have old data. It's not that one. It would more be like this one actually. Yeah, like this, but there's no kind of navigational aids. I'm trying to see if this SID is. The fun part is that it's not even aligning with the charts that I have, which are probably, well, they are really, really new actually. But okay, so if we are departing through 3-2, we're gonna have to turn around. And then go in the direction of 141. And we can use the VR here at Toulouse to know. And that's 26. So we know that we should be flying about 26 nautical miles from the Toulouse VR, a bit longer actually. It's maybe like 36 actually. Now here's 3 and that's 3. Okay, so about 26 plus 6, 32. So 32 nautical miles from the Toulouse VR. And then we'll try to get back on, I think, this one, the 129 to PPG. Okay, I think we can do this. I think we can do the SID. Should be fine. I'm also a bit skeptical when they ask you to do a SID when you put in that you don't have kind of any RNAV or GPS capabilities. Because some of them make sense, but some of these other ones I'm not fully certain I follow. So wait, I'm just gonna quickly check this one. So it's a VR DME. So we'll at least get the VR data. We also have an ADF on the route, so we could use that as well, but we want the DME data. It's called the Toulouse one, so TOU 117.7. We are gonna be flying away from it on a 141 course. And we'll be flying on it for, or away from it for 32 nautical miles. And it has a long range of 130 nautical miles. And then we'll be turning left to get on the 129. Can I put turn left? Yeah, turn. Just putting in some reminders for myself on how to approach this. But I think that makes sense. Then we can kind of do this. The question will be how this kind of change of course will be performed. It won't probably be perfect. It might be a bit earlier or a bit later, but should be good enough to not get too many errors with the Pilot 2ADC program. Let's also put it in then as a first step. 117. Where do we have the nav? Is it up here? Yeah, 1177. I'm gonna do a 141 course. I'm gonna put it in, even though I guess technically you might want to have the runway heading. Or I guess it's only the You want to have the runway heading, not the runway course. Okay, so we have that. I think we have a somewhat good idea of how we're gonna do this, so that's nice. Let's bring back the checklist. Because what we'll do is we'll start closing the doors. The boarding phase is basically done. Let's just check, does the light works here? No, it's just the sound. Okay, and then we want to start the APU. There's some other checks, but we'll skip those for now. So you do this by going to on. The weird thing I don't get is the pumps. Like, you don't need those for the APU, so that's a bit interesting. Let me see here. Here's something is going on with the lights in this aircraft now, because I didn't get the ready to start one. Have I done something? Have I pressed something wrong maybe? Forgotten something? That's annoying. Because you should see like a ready to start kind of thing. Okay, we seem to have APU. And we need to have the APU bleed as well. You can also like start the pack 1 if you want. And even the pack 2. And ground power. We can put that off. It seems to be working, so that's good. We can disconnect the ground power as well. Let's see what viewpoints I have. I have a few, nothing too awesome, but nothing too bad either. Okay, in terms of our clearance as well, we need to put in the squawk. That was 542 5434. There's the squawk 5434 5434. And I think we'll put it on if there's such a button here. There doesn't seem to be. We are climbing to 6,000 feet. We do have a auto throttle, but I think that's only for approach, right? Okay, so that's 100. 6,000 is that. Okay. Good. 1023, I think, is the QNH based on the 80s, or not the 80s, but based on the clearance, so that's fine. Okay, before we start push back, we don't need to do the APU shut off, but we can start the they are already on, and the position light should be on. Okay. Then the bleed, the packs need to be off for engine start. The fasten seatbelt sign can go on. And then we need to do the low ignition one, and then we can do the start. Okay, let's get the pushback one. Air France 4003, ready for pushback and engine start. And we are pretty close to runway 32 right, so we'll be we push back so we face right, and then we'll taxi down and get going. I'm gonna quickly check if there's anything else we need to be aware of in terms of the SID. These that's why it's hard, because they're all RNAV SIDs. Why isn't there anything? Let me check LFBO charts. sometimes if we're lucky you'll find... well, here it did. The minister... the ministry, oh, it's in French though. But that's fine, usually some of these, even if they're in another language, right, you'll be able to kind of understand what they're asking. Star, Sid Arnavs, I don't want the Sid Arnavs, I want the... or maybe that's the only thing you have nowadays. Could be, of course. This wasn't too helpful either. Only Arnavs from 14 left and right. Well, I guess we'll be using the ones we have, because that one at least is 3-2 left and right. Okay, we wanna go nose right, tail left. We can release the parking brakes, I think. Commence and push. Start at will, low ignition. Okay, we're starting engine 2. Oh, and the fuel cock was already up. So that's fine.
Gentlemen, please direct your attention to the screen to an
Seeing
important
the EGT values rise. Then 2 values are, or I guess they rose and now they're going down. Yeah, very quick start. Let's start the left engine, or engine number 1. Yeah, looking good. Let's add some fuel. Yeah, the values are looking good. Oh, one thing I totally forgot was to set the fuel. We don't need this much. We'll do... we can do a bit less. 45 I think will be enough. How much are you gonna check? 0 fuel weight. We're over 100. We can probably bring it down a bit. Something reasonable, right? I think that's fine. Maybe we can bring it down even more. Okay, that's good. Yeah, these are in kilos, right? It's not a long flight, so we don't need a lot of fuel. Good, the gauges are looking stable. We'll confirm good engine start. We want to shut down the APU, but I guess you want to have the other bleeds open. I would assume you want to shut off the bleed before you do, even though it says it's supposed to be done at a later stage. Same with this one. And then here you can... or I guess you would press stop, right? So we need to put all the window heat and pitot heats on. Hydraulic systems need to go on. Or at least system 1 and 2. Or maybe we can put the electric one as well. Yeah, it needs to go on. Then all these fuel booster ones. doors, panel, all lights off. I think it all looks off, so not sure why it's not saying it's off. Maybe I'm missing something. Nothing with those ground check pumps. I didn't do that check earlier, so. Elapse time. I'm gonna assume it's one of these. Or maybe it's somewhere else actually. But yeah, okay, we have the chronometer going at least. What else? Bleed left and right off. Pressurization should be on auto. Cabin. Here we have the flight levels. We can put that to 23,000. And then let's see the landing altitude. I think it's like 6 left we're landing. And that's an ILS 14, so we can keep it at 0. Cabin altitude. Probably 6,000 is fine. It's on auto, so that's good. What else? What else? We can set the climb rate. Put that to flight. Mach trim should be put on. But the booster pumps 5 and 6, should those be off or? Let's keep them on, I guess. Flaps, we can set that. Trim should be at 21.1. And then throttles, yeah, for the takeoff. And talking about that, let's actually have a look at this aircraft. Because I'm gonna guess there's some reference, right, for taking off. Performance, takeoff. So the EPR at 1 or at our kind of barometric should be around 213 maybe. So we can put that in here to. Oh, you can test those lights as well, that's really cool. Okay, 213, we'll put that. We are pretty lightweight, so I don't think it's gonna matter too much with the EPR. In terms of the not really have any V1 speeds, but that's fine. Let's ask for taxi clearance. Air France 4003, ready to taxi. And now we have more aircraft spawning in, so that's good. So they want us to turn basically kind of directly here. Let's see, yeah, the nose wheel seems to be working, so that's nice. It does taxi very well. Once again, freeware aircraft, but it does taxi very well. If we compare to some of the payware developers. Pretty crazy how they have been able to do it in such a good way. What else do we need to think about? Flight director is off, but is that on purpose, or is that because I don't have any setting on the autopilot panel? So let's say if I would want to do the heading one, is it because we're not in the air potentially? Yeah, because the lights do work. Let me check quickly again the panel manual. Nothing interesting. We're supposed to have a digital clock as well, where lower left. If it is here, I am totally missing it. Okay, we're going pretty quickly for just taxing, so I'm gonna a bit pull back on the throttles. Let me see. Oh yeah, here's the external nav switch. So in case I would want to connect, for example, the RXP GTN 750, I would have to use that. Taxi lights and runway turn-off light should have been on. Not sure we need the wing inspection lights as of now. Anything else? No, I don't think so. 36 DME is what we're aiming. Now it's saying we're 4.8. So that's pretty good. So we're just gonna align here with the runway before we drive on it, and then we are gonna quickly check that we are actually gonna be taking off in the direction, yeah, away. Good, so we have everything understood correctly. We can put these on. Maybe just put those wings. Don't think it's gonna, or I guess we don't, because those are just to kind of if you need to check something. What are these? Monitor speakers, microphone. Yeah, okay, nothing there. I think this operates on a, you want like everything to be dark basically up here. Ground service lights, okay, those can be on. The wipers are working, let's park them. Yeah, looking good, looks clear. Air France 4003, ready for takeoff. Let's check that our, yeah, that these are working. We can see here as well, ailerons, rudder, so that's good. And let's actually hide them. Okay. Okay, we are ready to go. Oh, there's the digital one, sorry. Total miss on my end. Here we go. There we have it. Or, wait, did I put it at the test one? Yeah, not really following it, but it's supposed to work. But at least we have the chronometer here as well. But that's cool. Okay, let's align with the runway a bit better. I'm gonna change the view to this one just so we can make sure we align somewhat correctly with the middle of the runway. And actually they want us to go to the VR and then turn, so we can drive this whole 4.9 nautical miles before we turn. Okay, other than that I think we are ready to go, I hope. Okay, increasing the throttles, releasing the brakes. Okay, let's see. Can we even get to 2.13? Is that even 213 with the EPR values? No, I'm basically pushing it fully now. We won't even get up to that, maybe like 210 if we're lucky. Okay, I guess we'll do around 130. V1, rotate. Okay, and that was quick. We're taking off. Landing gear coming up. Yeah, looking good. We are climbing. Yeah, we did go a bit above our EPR values. I'm gonna pull back on the yoke. I'm gonna go to flaps 0 if this would work. Okay, and we're still climbing. Looking good. We have the Matthias freeware photoreal scenery. Okay, let's go a bit to the right and then we'll start making our turn. I'm gonna trim a bit because we need to slow down. We're going above 250 knots. Continuing to trim. One, 3, 0. We'll start our turn now. Okay, looking good. Maybe we can turn a bit faster. Try to at least. We can turn some of these flights off. But yeah, so far so good. We're just turning way too slow.
Bank angle.
Yeah, we don't wanna go and turn too much. Okay, well let's see. So we are quite a bit away from the VR. Yeah, let's not turn too much. Looking good, looking good, looking good. We have soon turned enough. We need to turn a bit more just so we can get back on the right course from the VR. And now we need to pitch up a bit because we are going above 250 knots. This should be relatively perfect, I think. Now let's see if we can do this somewhat good if we use the heading bug. Can we do this? Let's see. God, now I've totally blanked on how we we start. Oh, and now we don't wanna. God damn it! So to start, yeah, this is the vertical gyro, so the servo switches. Yeah, we need to climb. Yeah, it's a bit hard to get the engine troll correctly. But yeah, how do you start the autopilot? It's engaged via the autopilot via the pedestal, so that's the problem. I've been thinking wrong. That's the flight director as well. Okay, let's see. What do we want to turn? And there we go. So we can engage that. We can do altitude select. And
Gentlemen, we are now passing through 10,000 feet. You can now turn on your larger portable electronic devices. As a reminder, please keep your seatbelt fastened while you are seated and do not congregate in the galley or near the lavatory.
oh no, now we're gonna stall. Let's see. It's just me being a bit too rookie with this one. Basic pitch mode. Yeah, we are going quite next to the airport, so that's cool. We'll push that in. And let's see if we can get this one too. So we want to do nose down. There we go. Okay, heading bug. Make sure we have that one. Because we do want to get on the right outbound. Okay, we can't use that one, so we have to use. Okay, we're still not picking it up, so we're not quite yet on the right course, but we're getting there. Speed is looking better. We're above. We're actually at our altitude. 190, but we're gonna be climbing up to 230. So let's get that, and now let's try to climb a bit. No, okay, it's still the same one. So basically you need to choose between plus or minus, I think. Yeah, so it's minus that's gonna get you down, no matter how you turn the mouse wheel. Okay, that's good. Okay, and now we are getting on the right heading. We can put the VR localizer thing on. Let's see how that works. If it works. Yeah, looking good. So now we're kind of doing the SID somewhat appropriately. Saying goodbye to Toulouse on our way to Barcelona. And we need to fly with this one for 32 nautical miles, and then we'll turn left to get on our next course to follow to the next VR. Okay, speed is looking fine. Landing light should be off. We're about 10,000. Same with fasten seatbelt signs. Packs should theoretically, I think, have been off for the takeoff, but no matter. Oh yeah, one thing we didn't use was this buddy. It's pretty okay. Looks like this. Pretty nice for a freeware one. considering this airplane is probably like 15 years old. Okay, let's see. Yeah, still looking pretty good. We are following the VR. About 12 nautical miles to go, and then we'll have to change course. And what we are changing to is a course of 129. With an altitude of 23,000 for 3 nautical miles to 11625. And let me see, this one decrease. No, we don't want to change that. Fractions, okay, so DME override, nav1 on, nav1 on, DME off. Does that make any difference? The weird part is we are actually on course, so yeah, makes literally no sense. Okay, we want to start turning left, and the way we'll do that is by going to heading mode. We'll change to the next one, which is 116. 11625. There we go. And then what we'll do is start turning left. Oh, sorry. There we go. That's how we do it. So we'll turn left somewhere along those lines, I think. And we're aiming for a 129. Yeah, look at that. Another aircraft flying up there, and I think there's another one there as well. That's pretty cool, actually. Seeing some traffic. And there we have the Pyrenees Mountains, looking really nice. Okay, it's 129 with the course. 230, yeah, and we should go to standard barometric setting as well. Which I guess is that. Here we can choose between Fahrenheit or Celsius. Not sure why you would use Fahrenheit in a Europe, but I guess this one, the hope was to probably export this one. Okay, let's see. Okay, so we are hopefully soon enough gonna make it. I'll show you quickly on a little nav map. I haven't been looking at it, but just to show that we're kind of doing it okay-ish. Like, we should have been doing that. I should have turned more. So maybe we can do that. We can turn a bit more. I was being a bit too cautious. I'm a bit afraid to overshoot the localizer. But so far it's been flying really nicely. Not noticing any turbulence. And it's felt a bit more heavy. Not super heavy like a heavy aircraft, but still better. I think we can see the VR now getting closer to us, so I'm gonna be a bit careful with the heading bug. It's definitely coming closer and closer. Thus far all the DMEs or VRs have been working pretty nicely, so that's cool. Resume navigation. And we are at 0 with the flaps. Yeah, we are. That's good. We have altitude select on. Speed is looking okay-ish, but we can push it a bit more. We could also actually have a look at the performance in terms of being at cruise. It's in kilos though. But yeah, I mean it's gonna be around 190 for Mach 0.8. And I think we can go basically now, as you can see here on the little nav map, we can start changing to the VR localizer. Let's see how that one does. Yeah, so far so good actually. Very beautiful around here actually, with the Pyrenees mountains, etc. Looking like really fertile land. Okay, and let's see, will it start turning to the right, or is it gonna... I think it's turning to the right now, so that's good. But yeah, this is the interesting part. I don't know if it's little nav map or the sim itself, but I can't get them to really align. You know, you would think that 129 would be... But it's always like a bit of a discrepancy. And after we start reaching here to PPG, we will be going to Barcelona. So yeah, should be fine, but let's see. Gonna check the recording, that's looking good. Gonna actually remove my Discord, put it away. I was at the TFDI forums. I'm actually interested in flying the MD-11 again, but I haven't... I just haven't had time. Okay, let's close that. And I'm waiting actually for the last kind of update for P3D, which is supposed to fix a lot of these remaining errors. Okay, let's add a bit more thrust. I think we don't want to go higher than this though, for our cruising. Altitude select is selected, so we should see the vertical speed come down, which we can see here, slowly decreasing. We have a bit of a cloud layer. So interestingly enough, we should want to, considering the risk of thunderstorms, you would think that we would want to go a bit higher. I'm gonna check windy, just quickly. See if there's actually any thunderstorms in the area, and there does seem to be some. I'll show you. Nothing right above Barcelona, but it's pretty close. Around here with Mallorca. So that's interesting.
In a few moments, we'll be starting our in-flight service. We will be serving complimentary drinks and snacks. Please look in your feedback for our list of complimentary and free
For the landing, we can start planning that. We're doing Cat 1, so 242 Cat 1. Maybe we're a B or C type of aircraft. So we'll do a 262. Maybe we can do that. Decision height of 262. How's the speed looking? Are we getting close to red tape? I'm gonna slow down a bit because we are a bit high on the EPR. We are almost at 2. We can do probably 180. We want to be able to do these turns somewhat cleanly. I'm also gonna actually start writing down for the ILS the info we need, so I don't need to look at different charts. That's gonna be 11.0.3 QAA. I think it's identifier, and it's a 6-4 course, and we want to be at an altitude of 3,000 feet. Is that what they're saying? Yeah, 3,000. transition altitude is at 6,000. Okay, but 3,000, we'll put that. Okay, so now we should have, soon we need to switch to the next one. It's only 13 nautical miles to go. We're doing a bit of ping-ponging, I feel. Here you can see, it's getting tinier, but there's been a bit of ping-ponging to get on the right one. We'll do the same as we did with the last turn. We'll go to heading mode. And then we'll start programming in the next waypoint. So we have still about 09. But for the next one we should have about 95 nautical miles to go, and that's going to be 114.3. Yeah, there we go. And the course we want to take for that one is going to be 201. And we are going to want to start turning ASAP. Okay, when we're expecting vectors to run away, did she say 2-4 right? Okay, so, and have we gotten any descent clearances? No descent vectors yet. We're definitely gonna overshoot it a bit, but not too bad, not as bad as I originally believed we were. Okay, so the question is, what will we be descending to? I'm gonna put this back to the localizer mode, and now we need to keep our ears open and ready. Okay, so 2-4, so we're doing something different than what I thought we were. We're gonna do ILS 2-4 Zulu approach. It's 235 is the radio, 235. Yeah, and the course on that one is 244. And it's 1095. So we'll change. So 1095, 234. I think it's still 3000. Yeah, the altitude. No, wait, sorry, 2300. So we'll change that. We'll continue slowing down a bit. 2300. It's just a straight in ILS, so that's gonna be fine at least. And yeah, still nothing in terms of top of descent. The VR is still being a bit weird. I'm gonna check. Okay, descend and maintain flight level 170. Let's see. We'll put that in, altitude select. I will descend with about 2000 feet per minute. We'll have to do that. And we're gonna slow down quite a bit, since we'll be transferring, I guess, altitude for speed. And we do want to slow down a bit. Okay, over 1000. I wish it would say how much the vertical is. Almost at 2. You can go a bit above, I think. 2000. Yeah, 2000, that's good. Still slowing down. We're about 70 nautical miles, so that's the reason why we need to descend quick. I actually think we need to descend more than what we're doing now. We need to do 2500. We can use the spoilers in a worst case scenario. Not really that much to see visually, but it's looking good. Let's check if we want to maybe take a nice... Unfortunately those have those ugly cloud things. Maybe we can do this one actually for a thumbnail. Looks pretty nice. Or something like this maybe. I think that will be good. Okay, descending. We're soon at 17,000. Have we gotten further descent clearances? I do hope so, but nothing as of yet. I am gonna be ready to push this one down. One 110. Our speed is increasing a bit, so let's add a bit of those spoilers. Something like that maybe. Yeah, looking pretty good. But yeah, I think that's not snow, that's probably clouds stuck on the photo reel. It's a bit annoying when you see that. Most of the photo reel sources are pretty good, but sometimes you'll find some with the clouds not removed. Okay, the spoiler seems to have made a huge impact, so that's nice. I can probably decrease a bit the amount of spoiler that we have. Okay, still descending, still looking good, still following the ATC. It's a bit of a shame that this aircraft didn't take off more. It would have been nice to see, you know, a French... Well, I guess technically this would have probably been anyway kind of the predecessor to Airbus, but I do wonder, would the A320 have been the same if this one really was a success? If they didn't go for the very short routes and instead went for something a bit more competitive with the 737 and the MD-80s. Or I guess the DC-9s. The later derivatives, right, with the longer range, and because I assume, right, when they got longer, the DC-9s, they probably had more fuel as well to compensate. Because I think this one was originally kind of designed to compete with the DC-9, but I would assume that would be the earlier models that didn't have enough fuel to go longer routes. And there was actually a plan to switch the engine to the CFM. What is it, the CFM 5.6? So that would have been an interesting one. Yeah, damn shame some of these things we never got to see. Okay. Flight level 061. And now the important part is to actually not descend as fast. We don't need to go crazy.
Barcelona. Flight attendants will be passing through the
And that
cabin
will
to
help
collect
with our
any trash
speed.
one final time.
And
This
I'm also
ensures that
thinking about
tables
these
are stowed and
mountains in
seats are
front of
visible
us.
upright facing you. Please also
It does
store any
feel a
carry-on
bit
items either in a seat back pocket or
dangerous
under
to
the seat in front
descend
of you.
too fast here. I should have checked the approach chart more just to know how much we want to descend. I think we've been descending very efficiently, a bit too much actually. So we just want to stop it for now so we don't end up crashing. The funny part is that we would have definitely crashed there if it was overcast. I would not have thought about the hills here, which is a bit dumb because there is a lot of hills around Barcelona. But that's why it's always easier to fly with the visual. The fasten seatbelt sign has gone on again. I'm gonna assume Pack X did that for me. And then, let's see, we are below 10,000 feet. Speed is looking okay. We can remove the spoilers. We'll add a bit of thrust. We don't want to go too slow. Now it's increasing again, so that's good. Okay, let's see now. We just about managed to pass over this mountain with these weird red lines. Don't know why Matthias photoreal has it. It does look a bit weird. But we made it. Good. The speed is a bit high though, so we'll decrease that whilst we increase the descent rate again. Okay, we want to be at 6,100. Bit more. I'm gonna add a bit of spoilers, or I thought that was. Oh, now it's working. One thing I did forget was the landing lights for below 10,000. Those need to be on. Those are, well, actually they are deployed from the fuselage, not built into it. Interesting. So I would assume that adds a bit of drag. Okay, still descending. Pretty okay. If we can increase it with one step at least. Yeah, that seems good. So we'll need to add flaps. That's actually the next question, because do we have any info on the... Actually here we had speeds, flap extension speeds, but not the V1 operating speeds. tailwind, takeoff, landing 15 knots, crosswind 30 knots. Okay, okay, that makes sense. Flaps 3 or 12 for the pre-land. Use of spoilers with flaps extended is forbidden except on ground. Okay, that's good to know. So I'll remove the flaps. And I'll add a bit of, or sorry, I'll remove the spoilers and add a bit of flaps. Fuel pumps 5 and 6 should be off actually for the landing. Okay. And this skid test flaps 25, 37. Okay, let's check what did she say this time. She said that we should descend to 5,000 feet. That would probably be more. Sorry, let's do that. And let's see, are we descending? No, because we're on altitude hold. Now we'll be descending. Okay, that should be good. 5,000. That's the ILS one. HUD should be on. Okay, I think this looks fine. Nothing that I can see that's weird. You can even do the ILS category 3 auto land, and I assume you would have the auto throttle idle. Yeah, okay, interesting. Yeah, so if you wanted to use the auto throttle for the approach. Okay, 5,000. QNH 1023. Didn't think of that, but let's put that in. Okay, good. I think we are on track. Ish, I would say. Potentially a bit high still. We are on flaps level. That's actually a good question. What's our flaps at 3? Maybe we can do a bit more flaps. Okay, and we're starting to. Okay, Barcelona approach. I'll add a bit of thrust. Turn left to 065. Descend and maintain 4,000. Why are we not turning? A bit delayed, perhaps? Okay, we'll descend. Let's see what's enough. Yeah, that's fine. (2,300 feet). Okay, so we're now turning away from going straight into Barcelona. The airport is somewhere at that area, so I'm gonna assume we'll soon be vectored in a bit differently, but let's see. So far it's looking okay, even though they really wanted us to turn like crazy. When I'm looking at the approach vectoring, it is the problem I find is that they're always expecting you to kind of turn directly when they state that you should turn. So it's always you're either too late or you're totally overshooting the AI thought of a procedure like this one, the yellow lines, or not the AI but the pilot to ADC one. Okay, 065 was what we were supposed to turn to. We'll do that. We are still descending, albeit slowly. I'll put on all the rest of the approach lights. Let's have a look at the fuel. So fuel quantity left tank and right is looking okay. The center one is a bit empty, but nothing too bad. 155. Two 1.5. Okay. So we can turn to 215 already. And let's check the data for that one. It's 109.5. And it's a 234 course. So let's put that in, 234. Okay, good. It's seemingly pretty good vectoring this time. We should do it. We should be able to do it. I'll close the flight plan format. And I'll just quickly check that yeah, it's looking okay with the rest of the oh, I realized now that actually you wouldn't have been able to hear the 80s earlier. Now you should have it. My OBS had changed the audio receiver, unfortunately. Okay, 13 nautical miles. We need to descend actually. I'm not sure why this one is keeping us quite high. Yeah, we're getting on the... we're still below, but not by much. I'll add a bit more. And I'll ask us to descend a bit quicker. Okay, we're still below the glide, that's good. Soon I think we'll get the VR. Hopefully we're not turning too kind of slowly, but we'll know soon enough. It looks pretty good actually with this one. I was thinking of getting the Orbex Cityscape for P3D version 4. I'm not sure I need to. Oh, and there we go. ILS. Let's get that. We did overshoot it. God damn it. Not too bad, hopefully. I'm gonna force down the gear. Hopefully that can help us a bit. At least slow us down. I'll add more flaps. Even though technically that makes us less maneuverable. Okay, let's see. Can this one... you need to turn much more if you're gonna get on the... I'm so skeptical with some of these... I mean, technically it's because I was a bit too late, but... or maybe that's how the real aircraft does it as well. Yeah, that's the runway. Okay, I'm going flaps full. I'm also gonna take manual control over this bird. There we go. Let's get back on the... because we're falling a bit behind the aircraft now. That's good. Air France 4003, established on final.
Air France 4003 winds are calm. Cleared to land runway 24 right.
Adding
Clear
a bit
to
of
land
thrust.
runway 24 right, Air France 4003.
24 right, clear to land. It's looking okay. Some nice views with the boats here. And the harbor.
1,000.
Okay, we're a bit off on the localizer. Okay-ish on the glide slope. But we have of course a plane taking off in our direction. Can't believe how we get different Or I guess I know why, because it's just modeled that way, but yeah, a bit weird. It would never been clear for this approach with that aircraft taking off in the opposite, but oh well. I'm feeling a bit of... I'll probably have to do, I think, a tiny bit of left rudder. 500.
400.
Or maybe it landed actually.
300.
I don't know, because I don't have no clue what it's doing.
Minimum. 200.
Continue, continue, continue. Yeah, it must have landed. Well, we'll be crashing into each other. 100.
50. 40. 30.
20.
20.
10.
10.
Yeah, a bit late to turn now.
Air France 4003
Okay.
exit runway Nibble report clear of active.
I think we were able to land pretty nicely. At least in the replay we won't see that other aircraft.
Foxtrot Zulu, make a strain approach 26 right, report on final. Number 2, number 1, apply for short final.
Yeah, I should have used the brakes a bit earlier. I always like to go a bit overboard with the thrust reversers. Didn't even...
Welcome to
Can you
Barcelona.
arm the
Local
spoilers
time
with
is
this one?
11:39
Oh,
a.m. and it's
maybe not. Let's turn, I think we can just do left.
to a complete stop and the seatbelt sign is
While
turned
we
off.
wait,
Remember to use caution when opening
I'll
overhead bins, as items may have
start the APU one.
But then, cross runway is approved, 26 left, yeah, number 1. Number 1 approved, thank you.
Okay, let's just turn here. We should have, of course, asked for taxi clearance, etc. Which I guess we can do. Air France 4003, ready to taxi.
Air France 4003 contact Barcelona ground on 121.65 for taxi clearance.
Ground on 121.65 for taxi. Air France 4003.
Air France 4003, ready to taxi. Air France 4003, ready to taxi. Yeah, let's see. Could be that it's just loading. The taxiing always takes a bit longer. But yeah, the Singwings one does look very nice. This, at least I think so. Let's get those flaps up. I think we should have now APU. Yeah, it looks like we do.
Taxi to gate 66 via taxiways Mike, Echo 5, Echo 6.
But yeah, this
Romeo
bird is
4,
very fun to
Alpha 6,
fly.
Tango, Kilo November, hold
Specifically
short
if you want to do
runway
VR
06 left,
flights.
Air France 4003.
We can stop here, I think. And what we'll do next is that and that. Guess we can keep the packs on, and then we'll shut the engines. And we can do this and open the... Actually now, oh yeah, that was the main exit, good. So before we call it a day, how long was the flight? 1 hour and 30 minutes. So pretty long still. We're deboarding, we'll end flight, 141. Apparently there was some passenger reseating that I totally missed. Let's have a look at the replay.
Wind shear, wind shear, wind shear.
Air France 4003.
Well, thank God we missed that wind shear.
Cleared to cross runway 24 right Air France 4003.
Yeah, I'm gonna close pilot to ADC. I think it's misunderstanding the data now with the... I'm not sure if it actually takes into account the replay. But yeah, it's a kind of nice looking airport, and actually meshes very well with the photo reel now that I'm looking.
Minimum.
could be of course its own. But I think the autogen could look better with the Orbex cityscape, so I might get it at some point. Not 100% certain yet. Okay, 100. I also want to get the Charleston one. Then you get the local airport there. 10. Do I flare at all? Yeah, but tiny. Pretty good on the mark, but I should have flared more. That's my... Yeah, that's my conclusion. And use more brakes and use the spoilers. But well, you live and you learn. But yeah, I think that's it for today. If you have any questions or comments, let me see. Ah, the flaps are super annoying. But yeah, if you have any questions or comments or suggestions for the type of flight I should do, please feel free to leave them below. I haven't done now in a while the X-Plane 12, so I need to do that. But it's I do like kind of just the variety of, you know, freeware and specifically the classics for P3D. There's some really good ones, you know, Constellation, DC6, etc. But yeah, enough with that. And like I said, yeah, thanks for watching and have a great rest of the day. Bye bye.